Brrrah! What's up my people, my name is Spicy and I want to remind you to participate in the giveaway to win one of the 4 Amazon gift cards I am gifting you for helping me reach the 2500 subscribers mark. So first subscribe, then click the link in the description and get a chance to win. It is totally free. I've got some spicy IDontWorkHereLady stories for you today, so tune in, turn on the notifications to be part of the early gang, also leave a fire emoji in the comments if you're having fun with me. Congratulations Rachel for the comment of the day. I can't explain this logic. I used to work at a local grocery store. Now and then, I would bump into regular customers from there that I got to know during the time I worked there. Most of the time, it's just polite small talk for a minute or two and we move on. Not this time. I am shopping at the blue big box store after work. An older lady approaches me and asks where some item is. Sorry, I don't work here. The old lady, didn't you used to work at that store? Yes. Then why don't you know where the item is? Because I don't work here and have never worked here. She looked at me confused and walked away mumbling something to herself. You work at the store. This is a store. Therefore you work here. Yeah, I also drive a car, but not a race car. Could you hand me those potatoes, officer? I just came across this in the local news. I am from a non-English speaking country, so I am afraid I don't have an English link to share. But what happens is as follows. Police were called out to a supermarket where a customer had become unwell, and they ended up having to perform CPR on the spot. As they were doing this, one of them feels a tap on the shoulder. Excuse me, could you maybe hand me that bag of potatoes over there? Easily one of the most outrageous IDontWorkHereLadies I've ever come across in the wild. So obviously, it needed to be shared here. The condition of the unwell customer is currently unknown. I am a passenger too. I am a flight attendant. I don't live in the same city that I work out of, so my commute is a plane ride from Virginia to Boston. Most airlines have what we call interline agreements, so if there are open seats on the flight, we're allowed to get on for free to travel to or from work. I take advantage of this a lot as my airline only has one flight a day between my base and home. I am often in my uniform because I don't have time to change into regular clothes. Obviously, every airline has different uniforms. My uniform is purple. A few weeks back, I was traveling on an airline with navy blue and red uniforms. I was one of the last 10 people to board, so there was not much bag space left. I had to put my bag way at the back of the plane, but my seat was toward the front. I decided to stay in the back until everyone was on that, so I will not be fighting my way back up to the front. This lady walked right past the working flight attendants and stopped like 2 rows in front of where I was standing and started screaming at me about how she had to check her bag when there's space for it right there. I said, I'm sorry ma'am, I actually don't work for this airline. I'm just catching a ride. She continued yelling about how I needed to go get her bag and tell the agent there was room for it. I said again, ma'am, I don't work for this airline. I can't help you. You need to ask one of the working flight attendants. I'm asking you. You are in uniform. I know you know how these things work. I am a VIP Gold Diamond Sparkle Unicorn member, and I should not have had to check my bag. I didn't say anything else. I stared at her for like 10 seconds. Then walked right on by and went back to my seat. Part of my wishes I had looked back because I am sure she was making the Pikachu meme face. I love when she said the VIP Gold Diamond Sparkle Unicorn membership. It's like, I honestly can hear them whine it. But hey, not looking bad was way more cooler. They will not let me quit. So in college, I work at a recreation store, basically a place that sells boats, ATVs, dirt bikes, snowmobiles, etc, etc. Anyways, I was coming to the end of my school term and was about to start a work term at a civil firm. So I went to put in my 2-week notice like a normal person and got this exchange. Hey boss, I know I mentioned it when I was hired, but I've got to hand in my 2 weeks so I can go on my work term. Oh, okay, but can you still work weekends? I'd rather not. I'm going to be working 50 plus hours a week and I'd like the weekends for family and friends. Okay, but I'll keep you on the books and I will call you if we need extra help from time to time. Yeah, no, I'm quitting. I have a full-time job now. It's just not feasible to work 2 right now. Okay, fine. Good luck with your new job. 2 weeks later, 7 a.m. phone call. Hello? Hey, any chance you can come in today? This one guy's always called sick. He called in today. I am at my cottage on an island. If you could be here by 12, it would be great. Dude, I don't work for you. Goodbye. Still kind of awkward because it is still where I go to buy parts for my dirt bike and snowmobile. But hey, what are you gonna do? But the question is, does it still give you an employee discount? But to be honest, I can understand because some places have a hard time finding reliable work. And when they find a diamond, then they try to keep it. Crazy lady got mad at me because I don't live in the city I work. Well, this happened last year in my very first job experience. I was working at a 2-day book fair in another city. My role was to talk people about what they like and recommend them a good starter book if they want to read books, but don't know where to start from. I decided to give a little boy Le Petit Prince, but I noticed there was none left on the stand, so I told him to wait and headed to the van where we keep the books. While I was in a different section of the fair, a middle-aged woman stopped me and asked a question about the fair, probably thinking I am an avant-garde because of my lanyard. I was in a hurry, but just to be a nice person, I answered her question and tried to move forward. But she literally stood in front of me and did not let me go. I was confused and tried to understand what she wanted. She started asking random questions like how can she go to a certain place in the city, etc. Sorry, I'm not familiar with this city. I don't want to misguide you. What do you mean you're not familiar with the city? She is visibly mad. I live in a neighbor city. I'm just here for the fair. If you don't live in this city, what are you doing here, Dan? I'm confused as heck. Answer me! Ma'am, what kind of answers do you expect? I am working for the publishing house. They wanted me to work here during the fair, and I showed my lanyard. Then she looked at me with disgust like I was some kind of fraud, exhaled heavily and stormed out. I have never been so confused. I'm just walking, mister, not working. I am a female. When I was about 22 years old, I live in a large city on the west coast of the US. One afternoon, I was wearing jeans and a t-shirt while walking to visit a friend. The closest building was an apartment building about half a mile away. There were no businesses nearby. It was about the emptiest and cleanest part of the city. A man pulled his convertible up and stopped next to me, saying, "Get in." What? Get in? Me, genuinely puzzled. Why? He hesitated, got an odd look on his face, then said, never mind, and drove away. Innocent me took about 3 minutes to figure out he thought I was a streetwalker. The only resemblance between me and a streetwalker is that I was walking, not my mode of dress, not my bearing, not my local, not my bare of makeup face. Wish I had though at the time to suggest he needed therapy if woman on foot automatically translated to hooker in his mind. A quick reminder before we get to the next story, I just want to say if you are enjoying my videos and you want to support what I do here, please consider subscribing to the channel and like this video. Those two things are very simple things that you can do that really help me a lot to grow this channel since I am a small YouTuber, so I do need your help. So thank you. Well, where am I then? More like an I don't work there lady story, but I really wanted to share and this is the best place I could think of to post this. Not me, but my sister who works at a popular fast food restaurant, A, known by a female's name and red pigtails. So, another fast food restaurant, B, known by its smiling star logo, recently opened right beside Restaurant A, and she has yet to hear anything good about Restaurant B. Well, a few days after Restaurant B opened, a total Karen comes into my sister's workplace already fuming. My sister is working the front register, and Karen demands a manager straight off. My sister gets the manager, and Karen slams a receipt on the counter saying, "First of all, the phone number on this receipt does not work." After looking at the receipt, the manager replies, ma'am, this receipt is from Restaurant B. Well, where am I then? Restaurant A? Oh, well, I'm about to go over there and complain right now. At least she didn't cause a fight in your sister's restaurant. I have not worked there for years. Stop coming to my house. Weird situation. I used to work at a busy gas station in the UK. I will find mechanics, source parts, and minor and moderate repairs and troubleshooting customers' cars as well as most retail issues. I quit 2 years ago. I had been there for 15 years and the whole town knows me. I also drive a very distinctive car. Again, the whole town knows it and who drives it. For the last 2 years now, I've had 2 or 3 customers a month knocking at my door asking for help, wanting to make complaints, asking why the place is closed, product issues, you name it. They all think I still work there. They all think I can solve their issues, and because of my car, everyone knows where I live. Hopefully, my old regular customers and everyone else will eventually realize that I don't work there anymore or even give a crap about the place. But with a population of 100,000 people, it's not going to end anytime soon. Edit. Answering a few comments. I eventually get to tell them that I don't work there, and they become ever understandable. My favorite is an old Irish gentleman who struggles to figure out his new Mercedes. People like that, I don't mind at all. Above, I have said nothing malicious about my former customers. Many figured I went back to the night shift, but we have a laugh about the situation and part on good terms. The only downside is that I told a few of them exactly how I feel about my old workplace and a few of my ex-work mates, and they reported back to them. I got a threatening phone call from my old boss about 18 months ago saying I am barred from entering the site. I don't go anywhere near the place anyway. I did not even use the place when I worked there. My own fault, but still, screw you, Mike. And my car is a 86 Cadillac Fleetwood program rat rod. I have the manager lean. Simple story from a few weeks ago that I had forgotten until reading about the guy in Walmart with juggling keys. I was in Wendy's waiting on a to-go order. I don't like using the drive-thru in the first place, and my wife tends to text me a convoluted order for her, so it is easier to just go in and place it in person. I am leaning against the end of the condiments bar, browsing Reddit, and waiting for the food to be ready, when a guy comes over and gives me a side glance. I nod a greetings. It is the South. Around here, you still encounter people doing the steering wheel two-finger wave at passing cars, and continue reading when he asks, "By any chance, are you a district manager or from corporate?" It took me a second to answer, as it was the last question I expected, and I'd seen the guy get out of a lawn service truck and he was covered head to feet in clippings, so I doubted he worked there either. Nope, just waiting on my food. Oh, I've noticed managers and corporate types like to lean against things like that and pretend to be on their phones but are really watching how the store works. He did not seem convinced until they called my name, and I left. Well, at that point, if you were corporate, you'd have to leave because your cover is blown. But in any case, if corporate really wants to know how the store is doing, they would have to transfer in an agent to observe from the inside. Hey, please participate in the giveaway where I am giving you 4 Amazon gift cards of $25 each. You can buy anything you want with these cards. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel and click the link in the description. It will ask you for your email, and that is for me to reach you out because I can contact people through YouTube. There's just no option to message my viewers. So go ahead and participate in the giveaway for Amazon gift cards. You will find more IDontWorkHereLady videos here, and please like this video if you are having fun. See ya!